let's see. Ooh, scroll. My bad. All right, here we are. Okay.
That looks so pretty. It looks so freaking pretty.
I do love the image. Like practically every monthly report has at least one image
two,
that I'm
hasn't
like.
It been? Hasn't the last two been
DCs?
Huh? Is that a DC?
This is at a DC, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Just looks like one of the buildings. Wow, it just looks like one of the buildings from the zoos, the outpost zoos that they showed.
Oh yeah. I mean
they've had the asset for a while.
Yeah. This is my favorite
Look,
part
I
of
saw this and like
too.
I will have that for my outpost for sure.
Mm-hmm. Because it's getting kind of close to like redwood forests with the ferns and yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely Babbage. That's very obviously new Microtech.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
DC
right.
adjacent.
Why don't you let's see, and we start off on the squadron side. So why don't you read the header for the PU and then the squadron report, and then I'll kick us off with the squadron part. Or for squadron.
All right. So the header for the PU monthly report for April 2024. Welcome to the latest PU monthly report. This time detailing all the development progress made throughout April. Yes, with the imminent release of 323, which is now out, most teams began continuing tasks for events and releases coming soon and further into the year. That's so vague. Events and releases now and far. Like, that's just the whole game. Mm-hmm. Read on for the latest updates on jump points, weapon animation, the Legionnaire, and more. On the squadron side, April 2024. This is a cross post from the email that you can sign up for, blah, blah. Welcome to April Squadron 42 development report. Enclosed, you will find details on the latest progress made across the campaign, including AI behaviors, ship combat, and Easter eggs. Thank you for your continued support of Squadron 42. Sincerely, CIG Communications.
Alrighty, so starting off, we start with AI content on Squadron 42.
Right. And just before you start reading that, it is so the squadron report, very small. It's like less than half the amount that was in the Star Citizen report. And there's only a single team that had work that crossed both. And still in that team, there's more work done on Star Citizen. And that's tech animation down near the bottom.
Yeah.
So other than that, it will be basically team over team, Star Citizen and Squadron. There's a little bit. Basically, they have zero that cross. There's zero that cross both, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, that's shared. Sorry. Yeah, they're either one or the other. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Scroll back up. All right, so AI content for Squadron 42. April saw the AI content team enhancing the dialogue experience, introducing 4 dynamic conversations into Chapter 1 to showcase chapter-specific content more effectively. They also addressed a critical issue where players could observe NPCs despawning after following them. That would freak me out. NPCs now engage with the environment meaningfully until the player exits the area. The team then and the NPC's like, God, we just leave already? I'm like an hour into overtime. I'm ready to quit. The team then implemented input variables to enhance flexibility in player AI interaction, allowing for tailored reactions such as a formal greeting followed by task-related dialogue, a concise busy response, or no dialogue at all. This expanded functionality proved invaluable for addressing the campaign's diverse narrative scenarios. Overall, NPC behaviors were refined too, with the team resolving a bug causing NPC guards to gradually shift leftward each time they saluted the play. They're just...
And I know exactly where that bug comes from. It's just a slight mistargeting of the animation. And so it will, when the animation runs, the character will shift just a little bit when at the end of the animation. And like it doesn't, like when you see a perfect loop short video and it doesn't perfectly loop, but it's just a little bit off and you see that kickback, that's basically the same thing.
My lord.
Like it's
Right.
not
Stormtrooper.
quite where they
Stormtrooper.
started the animation from.
Here, I'm going to play something that this made me think of that.
Okay. Oh no.
So if you've been in the military and you've been in an environment where there's officers and you have to salute them and everything, they get super irritated if a whole bunch of enlisted people are spaced out from each other and they're constantly saluting, giving the greeting, and they have to salute back as they're just walking by. And so that's what this is, but Star Wars. But when I talked about every time, I just imagine a bunch of NPCs keep saluting you as you walk by, and they're like jiggering to the left.
My lord.
Stormtrooper.
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 My lord.
Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper.
My lord.
Ugh.
My lord.
Yourself.
My lord.
Go yourself.
My lord.
Go yourself.
My lord.
Go yourself.
Aw.
Aw.
What's up?
Aw.
My lord.
Storm.
North End
Droid's
Trooper
the
knows what
best.
I'm talking about. Yep.
Droid's the best.
All right.
I like how droids don't fit into any hierarchy of militaries. But then literally every culture has some, all the fleshy bag cultures have some anti-droid something somewhere in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then so there are several colonies of droid refugees that just live life as droids without flesh bag interference.
Flashbacks.
And yet within every military they
Disgusting.
fit into, they're just yeah, we're just gonna here, we do whatever we want. It's fine. Oh boy. You got 2 more paragraphs to go.
Sorry. Let's see. This was caused by a locator malfunction, the shifting to the left every time they saluted. The team also rectified an issue where the supervisor NPC was inconsistently present on the Stanton's Bridge across the day-night cycle. Wait, your supervisor is actually there when you need them, or
No, this is realistic. That they don't need to change a thing.
yeah, this seems like it's intended. For combat mechanics, AI content utilized new mocap to refine how players interact with the Gladius. Alongside this, various tasks and bug fixes were completed to improve the overall experience. And that is it for AI content, Squadron 42. Now we're back over to the PU side for AI features, right? Yep.
Yep.
With
And
a
their
little
last
bit on
paragraph is
Squadron. Okay.
right. All right. AI features. Throughout April, AI features put significant effort into the Alpha 323 release, specifically the Copion creature that will be found across planetary surfaces and in caves.
Quick pause. We just
Run.
got rated by Buster. Buster
Oh my God,
Destroyer with the
Buster, hi!
raid with 36 viewers. Good to see you, Buster. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I fingers crossed for you. I hope things are looking up. This last Saturday afternoon, Soul Citizens did a big stream to help raise a little bit of get by money for Buster. Help her get by. She's going through a lot right now, and we just want to say we love you, Buster, and we support you, and we hope you find a new job and a better job soon. And just know that the community is with you, and when we love you. But I got to go and hang out with Soul Citizens and be on the stream for a little bit, and I hope we were able to help you out a help you get back on for your feet. We've not maybe all of us, but I feel like most people have been there, and we empathize with you, and we just want you to know that we are here for you, my friend, and I hope things are going well. But thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate the support. If you're coming in from Buster's stream and you haven't watched the podcast before, Naz and I do the Pathfinders podcast, and we just talk about all things Star Citizen and Squadron 42 development. And tonight we're going through the monthly reports for April for Star Citizen and Squadron 42. In the first hour and a half of the show was us reacting to a statement made by Chris Roberts. We reacted to the medical changes that are in the patch notes for 323.1. And we went over the roadmap rundown for May 1st. And so if you want to catch up on that, you can catch it on my YouTube. It'll be posted in the next couple days. But let's see. Bush says, love y'all. Thank you for popping on Soul Citizen to support me the other day and just being awesome. We love you too. And I hope things are looking up for you, my friend. You know, it is a super stressful thing, and you deserve better. And I hope you find something that is better for you. But yeah, we are here for you. And fingers crossed in every way, shape, and form. But yeah, so thank you for the raid, Buster, and welcome everybody from Buster's stream. But yeah, we are looking at Star Citizen's development tonight, and Nazeris is just reading about the AI tech that on the Star Citizen side. Sorry for the interruption.
No. Don't be
Double
sorry
dogs
for
for everybody.
What? That's the least, like, monthly report can wait. We can go 5 hours overtime for community support. Absolutely. Especially for Buster. All right. Surface and caves. All right. Quote from the AI feature team. We're really excited to share this new creature and the gameplay possibilities it provides. Copions are the first of the creatures that we have been working on and have posed many challenges during their development. We also had the pleasure of bringing all the hard work on other teams into a cohesive whole, the AI team or AI feature team. AI features added 4 creatures, including ground alignment tech, which also allows them to appear correctly situated when moving across the terrain, and the ability to attack in formation. That's terrifying. The attacks themselves require motion wrapping and melee technology to connect with the player. The team also put a lot of effort into ensuring that these functionalities work well across different environments. One thing I think they said but didn't say that Copions also use the token system when they do their pack attacks.
Huh.
They didn't say it specifically, but they talked about how the kind of token system works in ISC. Right. So that like it filters through them, so they're not all attacking once, and like some will strafe, some will like. I can't confirm it, but from what they said in ISC, it does seem like they use the token system.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because they are full NPCs, they said. So it would make sense if it's an attacking NPC, they would use the token system.
Instead of death by 1,000 cuts, it's death by 1,000 bites. They're just nibbling.
Just 3, actually, or 4, because each bite takes a quarter of your health. Just 4 cuts.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of your SC character?
Of you. Just 4. All right. On the squadron side, last month, the AI feature team made updates and bug fixes to AI combat for the Persistent Universe. Why is this in the squadron one? Once Alpha 323 launches, these improvements will to further enhance the flight and combat experience. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
So the AI feature team is now the reverse of what they used to be.
Yep.
It starts as in first and then bring those to squadron. That's cool.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what we're going to be hearing about a lot.
It makes sense because, hey, we're bringing all this stuff over to the PU for you to test it. That is already in Squadron, the features in Squadron. but then they're going to bring back the updates and fixes and stuff that we give them information on in the PU
Yep.
to back to Squadron to get it ready for content complete.
Yep. Nope, that makes sense.
Um,
That was weird. My thing stopped loading. And on to you for AI tech.
AI tech and starts on the PU. Okay, so AI tech Star
And then
Citizen.
swaps over for
Last month, AI Tech focused on planetary navigation mesh, with the version implemented recently receiving significant improvements. Firstly, they removed generation limits over planet latitude, which gives stronger coupling with planetary terrain patches, allowing the nav mesh to generate correctly over the planet efficiently. They then improved generation response at lower frame rates so that movement over planets in non-ideal performance scenarios results in acceptable nav mesh generation times. The multipath code See what I did there?
Yep. No, I understand.
The multipath code was then optimized to execute faster, which will result in I cracked myself up. I'm sorry.
Apparently.
Which will result, it's apparent you're a parent. Which will result in quicker generation of paths into, out of, and between usables. The team also enabled failure. When they say usables like that, that means a chair.
Oh boy.
Or an elevator, or if they are walking up to like an engineering panel to do something. Like if you go into the distribution centers, one thing I noticed in EPTU is the NPCs would essentially almost get stuck on a console, and they wouldn't move from a long time because they were waiting for the generation of a path out of that usable. And because the server FPS was 3 to 5, they were just waiting. They would go there, they would do their work, and then they'd just be standing there waiting for the server to tell them how to walk away from the workspace. Yeah. The team also enabled
You've not told me how to leave, sir.
Yeah. Well, I've done everything I can do here, but I don't know what to do next. I guess I'll just wait.
What was I forget what movie it was when the guy became the perfect soldier and forgot literally everything else. I just remember the clip that keeps being posted online. He cleaned his bed and got all his stuff in order.
It's from Malcolm in the Middle.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, it's Malcolm's older brother. Reese. Universal Soldier is also a good example of that, but it's much more serious. Good movie, by the way. The team also enabled failure detection code in the movement system component to identify and fix situations where NPCs were standing on usables or out of the nav mesh. So they're working on addressing additional issues that cause NPCs to stand on chairs. Another key feature worked on was
how long are they going to be fighting this problem?
Yeah, it's just a crazy thing that this is the result of so many different points of failure for NPCs and AI. Let's see. Another key feature worked on was the Boyd system, which the Marok used for the new Marok creature. April saw the devs improving network synchronization and extending the system to support audio triggers from different agent states. Several optimizations were also made to the overall code. Before I continue, I have to find the thing that I made because it was funny to me. Oh, wait, no, I made that on my laptop. Didn't I?
Oh, no. Well, describe it. What'd you make?
No, I uploaded it to Discord. I pull things from open in browser. So, the GIF of the seagull doing the whole laughing at you, the crazed seagull laughing? Well, this is the Marok equivalent.
Being dissed by Maroc.
Yeah. So anytime I want to laugh at something ridiculous that is said in Discord, I can drop that GIF. All right. Sorry. Oh, whoops. Let's see. April saw the devs improving network synchronization and extending the systems to support audio triggers from different agent states. Several optimizations were also made to the overall code. Significant time was spent verifying multiple parts of the AI system after evaluating the ePTU optic profiles. For example, the team optimized some of the navigation code involved in the destruction of navigation links and navigation volumes when larger outposts stream out. Oh, okay. So with streaming, with server with server side streaming, when they stream out a location, it's not just the physical assets of the location, it's also the code that makes the location work. And so they have to, when they stream out the location, they have to make sure that it takes out things like the navigation links and navigation volumes, so that way they don't remain in NPCs, like can't get bugged and borked out by them. Navigation links are what allow an NPC to traverse between navigation volumes. So a room gives you a navigation link via a elevator or a lift of some sort to another room. Now, those are two different navigation volumes, if that makes sense. But those are things that is code beneath the surface that you don't see, that has to stream out along with the actual asset itself that the server is simulating. The Pathfinder was also switched from running using background jobs to batch jobs. This part's interesting. This is a big deal. The main pool that serves requests was split into two to better serve multipath and standard path searches. Moving the calculation into batch jobs allows an increased number of calculations, which provides much faster results and utilizes more CPU time where available. These jobs are lower priority, so they can always provide space for more urgent calculations and continue work across multiple frames. This should result in quicker response times for NPCs at lower FPS. So,
Which, as far as I've heard, it has.
Yes, this
I hear a lot of people praising the NPCs in this update.
Even at like not 30 FPS, the NPCs are much more performant in this update, down to low tens or even high single digits than they were previously. And it's because they are optimizing, how they calculate all that and how they spread those calculations across across essentially server frames. And so this is huge. Because Nazeris and I had talked about this before, as this is one of the, like a triangle of getting NPCs. Yeah, NPCs throw grenades out. I hate it. But it's a triangle of getting NPCs to work as intended, in terms of they have to optimize the actual behaviors to make those behaviors run less resource intensive. They have to optimize the code that runs those behaviors on the servers themselves. So that way, even if the server takes a long time to run this behavior or doesn't run it efficiently, it doesn't matter how optimized this behavior is in terms of how much extra code they've whittled out of it. It's still not going to run optimally. It'll run better, just not optimally. And then the third part of that triangle is server meshing, in that, okay, if the server FPS is getting down to 10 or 12, all right, let's spin up another server, so that way this area that was 1 is now 2, and each one is running at 30. And that's how you get really performant NPCs, without just spending a ton of money on crap tons of servers. It's optimization and efficient utilization across 3 fronts.
And we're finally seeing the optimization they had talked about 2018 or something when they said they want, I think it was 17 or 18, when they said we need to get each server as optimized as possible before we move into server meshing. That way, each server is as efficient as we can make it. If we would just jump from 5 years ago servers to server meshing, we'd be leaving so much performance on the table, and we wouldn't know how to optimize it because it'd be obfuscated by the server mesh.
Yeah.
Keeping everything on a single server helps us see the problems.
Yep. And it would not be cost effective at all.
Yeah.
And this is just one example of them doing that with AI tech, but AI and their behaviors are big hogs of server resources. So this is a big initiative. Plus it's very much player facing, so by optimizing this makes our experience that much better. In parallel with supporting the Apollo subsumption editor, AI Tech are also working on a new UX design for their internal tool. Progress was also made on the spaceship combat behavior, which is planned for release in Alpha 3.2.3. All NPC fighters now use this behavior, which involves them using limited ballistic ammo rather than infinite rounds as before. Yeah, so continue to iterate on space combat behaviors, and yeah, they're getting better and better. And part of the reason for master modes was so NPCs could be competitive, because you're never going to be able to teach NPCs to do what Avenger 1 et al. Are able to do. But if everybody's on the same sort of playing field with what you're capable of doing, what the ship is capable of doing, it makes it a lot easier and more. It makes it more. It makes it so that way the CIG can make the NPCs capable and competitive against higher tier pilots, and make for a better experience all around. Finally, for AI tech, they implemented point defense cannons that will protect capital ships from incoming missiles. I can't imagine why this is so important.
Last time I was on Captain's Table, this was basically Red J's like one sticking point for a lot of capital stuff, and up like not Legionnaire, the other one, Liberator, and Polaris, and all these other things. Like we got to get the point defense stuff in before stuff actually starts getting big.
Mm-hmm.
I read through this. I just didn't see the word implemented. I read work done.
All
right.
I'm going to be kind of sarcastic in chat. I want to see if you guys pick up on this, but why might it be so important for capital ships to have point defense cannons working in the PU?
I don't know, Tree. Why would they need point defense systems?
What capital ships are we?
So where's the
Are we shooting at that would need?
That's great.
Oh, I don't know. The Xenothreat Idris. What are we going to be getting to shoot? What are we going to be getting to shoot at capital ships soon? The frickin' Polaris with size 10 frickin' torpedoes. It wouldn't be very sporting if the PDCs didn't work and you've got this, size 10 torpedo and, big bada boom, game over, I win. It would just be an I win button against NPCs. Well, now it won't be. And, Xenothreat is apparently going to get more interesting, because instead of just being able to easily shoot them with your Retaliator, they're going to shoot down your missiles, your torps.
Honestly, I think the Antares trumps PDSs.
Oh.
If you have your Antares, and I did this last time Xenothreat was around, if you have the correct back peel behind you, the correct wing behind you, you run your Antares just straight through the middle of the fleet, light up your EMP, kills everything. Like everything's just floating there. Then you send in the torpedoes. Like it's just so good. Mm-hmm. So if you have the right wing behind you, it doesn't matter that they have PDS.
It's almost
Antares
like
is just dangerous.
bringing the right tool for the job. Huh. And it's not just about being an ace pilot, because you're not the
and
Red
the Antares
Baron,
has like comparatively very few guns, and it's a 2-man ship. Like that's a lot of resources locked up in a ship that can't really fight. Like you should not be fighting with Antares. Like you're there for one job.
Yeah.
It's to disable.
You are part of the fight, but
so
you're not
good.
fighting. Yeah.
Right. It is definitely a support role.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Xenothreat. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to like organize the org into a fighting hauling machine.
Looking forward to seeing what these changes to Xenothreat entail and what that's going to be like. But
And can we please board an Idris?
Mr. 19K, you mean actually work as a team with proper personnel and material? That's BS, man. Yeah. What? No.
Never mind. My bad. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. AI tech for Squadron 42. AI tech began supporting usables reacting to maelstrom physics.
What?
So when they say reacting to maelstrom physics, they mean that usables, whether on a ship or on a location, if this is making it so that way the old pipe system, but now the relay system for master modes, or not master, sorry, resource management, is tied to maelstrom. So if the piece of wall where the pipe, or the wire had gone through to get to this usable is now gone, that usable no longer works. That's how it's going to work for ships. If you take damage and it blows out this section of hull, well, and the relay's over here and it led to these components, but this section of hull is where the connection went to the next relay over here coming from the power plant. All this no longer works, and it doesn't matter if you repair these components over here, they're not going to get power because you have a section of the hull missing where the power went through, and you have to reroute around that. It's not just a matter of the relays going down, it's a matter of you've got a gaping hole in the side of your ship, and power can't go through it anymore.
I would love a system, and this is probably not within the scope of Star Citizen, where you could bridge those connections across the open hull with like just auxiliary cables that you run yourself. And so yeah, the wall would be blown out, but y'all had like cables strung across it, or cables strung from a different part of the hull onto that relay. Drake repairs, yeah, Drake repairs.
Yep. As part of this, the usable will react to the destroyed object and enable or disable specific functionalities. For example, if an engineer inspects a broken wing of the Gladius, they will notice the damage and perform an appropriate interaction. For cover, the system will react to the object's destruction and notify NPCs that might already be using this cover. Hey, the cover's gone. You should move. Stop crouching there. He can see you. Yeah. So that's the usable system is pretty vast. And that is it for AI tech. And now we're off to animation, starting on the PU.
Yes. In April, the animation team worked on various creatures, including 2 predators and prey animals. Oh, including 2 predators and prey animals.
And this is the Marak and Copian. Oh boy.
Yeah, the Marak and Copian were the creatures they used to build the system. This is now moving on. They also spend time polishing player movement in space, and when prone, which will be live in 3.23, and implemented a hit reaction for when AI is out in the open. A hit reaction when player AI, or when AI is out in the open. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, is it
honestly
different? What do they do?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Guess we'll find
And
out.
implemented a hit reaction for when AI is out in the open. Like,
Do they get shot and they like just drop to the ground because there's no cover, or
playing dead, is that a thing? Anyway,
no,
the facial
like, go
animation team
prone,
continued to
limit
do.
your- make
Yeah,
your
yeah,
profile
but
small.
like, if playing dead could be a thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what
Does
it means. They worked on it. It's a
cheesy,
thing.
like 1950s, 1960s, Wild West death. You're like, oh, fall.
We have those.
Yeah.
We have those. People, they were actually explaining in like 2 weeks before 323 went live. There's a thread about death animations being a problem and the 9-second death animations. And somebody from the FPS team said, "Yeah, no, we will be removing those." Like when you hit someone and they are dead, you don't want to question it. So eventually, those 9-second death animations will be being removed, and you will, when you kill something, you will be able to know that you've actually killed them, not put extra bullets into them because they're
Can you
taking
die
9
already? I need
seconds to
loot
fall
you.
to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need you to lay down so I can strip your mags already. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. The facial animation team continued to develop facial animations for various elements. How very vague on the Squadron side.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna open up
The
window
animation
real
team
quick.
worked on. Huh?
I'm gonna open up the window real quick. It's getting real warm in here.
Got it. Yes. The animation team worked on numerous space-centered movement throughout April, including zero gravity, or zero G, and prone movement in gravity. The team also worked on first-person animations for turrets, interacting with fire extinguishers, med pens, and more. I cannot wait for a fire. I'm so excited for our ships to burn down from the inside out. I'm so excited. The team then continued to work on player weapon reloading and malfunctions, as well as burning down AI combat animations, including reloads and hit reactions. Hit reactions were also shot for a new enemy class. Ooh. Be cool. The team is currently closing out several background and life elements across various locations, such as the Idris. They also supported cinematics with mocap shoots for the opening of the campaign. The facial animation team continued to develop assets for the cast characters and player. On the mocap side, the team supported mocap sessions needed to complete specific levels. Just getting stuff done. I am really excited to see the stuff from fire extinguishers and med pen stuff get back to Star Citizen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
All right.
can I use the fire extinguisher offensively?
Well, someone got a kill in it when they did the last playthrough of Gears of War, so...
No, I mean like, oh crap! I'm all out of smoke grenades. Oh, I'm just gonna spray the fire extinguisher right here and make a cloud. Now run past.
Is it versus NPCs or players?
Both.
Because players, they don't have any extra tools to see you through smoke grenades. NPCs are run by the server, and the server knows where you are. So if it's a player, that works anyway. For an NPC, it may not work depending on how they see the environment.
For the NPC, I just have to chuck it at them. All right. Beat them to death with it.
Does this hurt? Whack!
Yeah. All right. That was animation on the Squadron side. Now onto character art. PU. All right. In April, the character art team began work on 2 specialist armors. Ooh, which ones though? Reworked a utility armor and supported requests for the character customizer. What armors? I want to know what they are. When you say specialist, to me that's particular.
They also they mentioned at CitizenCon like specialists as in recon, medical, heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Specialist is basically classes. When you read specialists, read specialists, think classes. There we go.
They also continued working on creatures, so they're doing
Market
the
manager
art.
armor.
Yeah, market. Jeez.
No, they're not being sold. These are specifically like Earth and stuffing ODST armor. ODST is too broad. Specialist armor is specifically like a class in the ODSTs. If I know ODST enough, which I probably don't because I played 0 games with ODSTs in them.
Oh, Naz. Oh dear.
I've played so many of them, just not one specifically. Like, well, I guess technically, they're just the not Spartans, right?
Yeah, they're special operations Helldiver guys.
Yeah. Okay, so no, I haven't played any with them in it because I think Infinite just has the Marines that you save. So no, I haven't played any with ODSTs. Sorry.
Oh, the ODST Halo game is incredibly underrated and is my favorite.
I know it's underrated, but I also know it's very emotional, and that's why I haven't played it. I know it has Nathan Fillion, I know, but it's a tragedy, and I don't like tragedies. I'm a very emotionally susceptible person, especially to characters in media, and I know it's a tragedy. That would like the knowledge I have already of the Halo Reach game is still hard to bear. ODST would kill me for a week. Like I would be in absolute depression, like just doing nothing for a week, and I choose to be not that. It sucks that I have to be so careful, but I get to spend my emotional capacity elsewhere.
All right. Let's see. They also continue working on creatures. So I haven't watched the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Oh dear. Oh no. Character art team. They also continued working on creatures, so they're doing the character art for the creatures that the animation team is working on. The character concept art team continued developing specialist armors and completed handoff. So they're working on a lot of specialist armors. They're concept art and also production art, and completed handoff sheets. The hair team kicked off new hairstyles for Alpha 4.0 and undertook R&D on fur for the creatures. So the Copion doesn't have fur. The Copion has like a leathery hide skin thing. It's not a fuzzy animal. And so what fuzzy creature do we know of? Oh, it's the giant abominable snowman that punch-sizes your face. I guarantee that's one of the ones they're working on. All right. That's it for character art. On to
ship art.
Ship art. Yep.
All right. Ship art, one of the more crowd-friendly ones. The ship team progressed with the Zeus, continuing with the beauty and polish stage. The cockpit is now gray box complete, which establishes the standard for the remainder of the ship, aka the rest of the ship is not in gray box. The habitation area is receiving the last elements of polish, including resolving the ceiling and potential and personal storage areas. The cargo room ceiling the cargo room ceiling had a pass, and the devs began finalizing the walls. The mess hall is nearing completion, as is the central hallway. So how they've been telling us the updates on the Zeus is very confusing. Something's in polish, something's in gray box, something's in white box. What on earth is that?
Oh, Mistral said Xenomorph's tree. The Marines need to go on a bug hunt, and so I had to get out the Silico because the Silico's like. So I have acquired the models for as many of my favorite sci-fi IP ships as I can get and afford, and so, but this one's very high on my list.
Nice. And which one is that from?
It's from Alien.
It's from Alien. Okay, I only know the Nostromo from Alien, visually.
Yeah, it's the Marine assault carrier. And see, that's the thing. It's like
The
everybody's
Zeus
all
didn't
about the
get
Nostromo,
a-
and I'm all about the ships that everybody loves this ship, but what about this one? This is the one that's my favorite. And so like I've got the Suleiko. I mean, I've got a Battlestar Galactica, but
If I were to get a
know.
BSG model, it would not be Galactica because there was a forest ship in the fleet. There was an entire ship dedicated to an arborism. Yeah, it was a forest ship. It was a farming forest ship. That's the one I would get. No idea what the name of it was, but yeah. Somebody said, surprised that Zeus didn't get an exterior model for ILW. That's because it's not a military ship. It is far from military. Like, it is an exploration, civilian cargo, civilian bounty hunting. It is nowhere near anything that the Navy would want or need. MR is bounty hunting. They have way better ships to like. The Navy's not bounty hunting. They're fighting wars.
It's not a hard and
CDF
fast
are bounty
rule,
hunting.
but I don't, and I don't even know if it's that far along to really.
Yeah, it is a lot of different places all at once. So like they're just like starting to work on some of the walls, gray boxing the walls, but like some of those places are in late gray box, some in early gray box. The cockpit is now gray box complete. Obviously, we haven't seen a VFX or lighting passes on them. We're probably going to see a UI pass for RSI now that we're having the Polaris and Zeus come up and the Apollo soon. So hopefully we get their flavor of UIs. All right.
The way they
moving
described it is
along.
very confusing, though.
Yes.
Like, the cockpit is now
I mean,
gray box, which
SRV
established
and
the standard for the
C1
remainder of the
are
ship,
in-
but the mess hall is complete. And it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what?
The SRV makes sense. It's a tug. Everyone needs a tug. Doesn't matter where you are. They need a tug. C1 is interesting, but Crusader has strong ties to moving Navy stuff around.
Yeah, they've definitely strayed from the this is a military focus, and it's like, wait, is it though? I would honestly prefer if they had kept it more strict, but it's kind of hard to put that genie back in the bottle at this point.
I mean, this is also one of the easy things marketing can do. Like during a ship sale more ships. Like that's easy. This is one of the times that marketing might actually be able to do stuff in the game. Is get whatever ships in the lineup for the sales. They don't tell them how to make ships or what ships to make or how to make gameplay, but those sales for lineup or the lineup for sales might actually be something that marketing touches, and that makes sense. Like that's their job. We want this game to finish. We want this game to succeed. So for this, marketing, have your cookie.
The ship that moves officers.
Can they
around.
release the E1 and justify it as a ship that moves officers? They definitely can because the G12. So like, of course they can. Because the G12's in, they can do whatever the heck they want with personal transportation. Sell espresso machine and other appliances. You joke, but that's coming. That's absolutely coming. Like you joke.
What all can the air fryer of the 30th century do? Because mine has like 13 different settings. So.
I want them to honestly. So I want two things out of the kind of food companies in Star Citizen. One, I want a rehydrating company like we saw in Spy Kids, where they put something in the microwave a couple seconds and it would poof into an entire like turkey dinner. I want that. And I also want a company like Cubes from Starfield, which is literally just any food you know of, or it's chunks. I think it's chunks, just in a cubes vacuum sealed form. This little like foil plastic suctioned onto watermelon, chicken, beef, just whatever the heck they could shove in it, with like very obvious marketing like in marketing of like we're not really sure if this actually contains what it says in the package, but it might taste vaguely what it says.
Dubious claims.
Yeah, I want that kind of company in for foodstuffs in Star Citizen. All right, now moving on. Work on the exterior progressed well too. That's a sentence. Well, half sentence. Which now has a significantly increased level of detail throughout. That's cool. The team is currently going through all of these sections to ensure they have the same level of detail. Ships also started. I swear I'm reading this wrong. Ships also started looking at lighting, including a pass of every room and the entire exterior. So there's your lighting that I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. Following this, it will be outfitted with proper fixtures. CIG, what the heck is a proper fixture?
Well, they put the light there, and then the light source is like faked. So
what's a proper fixture?
The fixture corresponds to the light source in the scene. You know, the CIG can put a light source here, but there won't be a fixture in the ceiling. But then they
so the lighting pass and lights in the ship are the same thing.
Yeah,
they're not making the lighting fictional while the lights are physicalized. Sure. Yep. The Envil Legionnaire is now white box complete. I don't believe this is coming in for 4.0 if it's only just now white box complete. Though requests were made to improve the usability when boarding hostile vessels, they were currently exploring options for collapsible cover built into the boarding tunnel.
Right, Jay also talked about in the initial concept. Mm-hmm. It would have that.
Yeah, it's a kill hallway. Like that's all it is. Like if they know you're boarding, which it's hard to miss you, it's just setting your guys into a tube of just bullets. So, elsewhere, Resource Network was finished for 10 ships, while legacy updates were made to 3 additional ships to support a new selection of paints. Neat. And that is it for ship art for April. So moving on to audio with Tree.
And that's like the second or third month in a row where they've talked about 10 or more ships being finished for Resource Network. So this isn't the first month.
Would love to know the current count, not just the count finished.
What's the tally up to? Because remember, they are trying to get all the ships ready for resource management come 4.0.
Which is in 4.0.
So,
like, that's the plan.
Yeah, they're making good headway, but it's a pretty long list. Audio for the upcoming Alpha 3.23 release, right? We're on audio?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The audio vehicle team completed their first milestone in overhauling the ship audio experience with new thruster sounds, which is rolling out to all new ships. The goal was to restructure our process of designing and implementing ship thruster audio in order to unify the setup of all ships and streamline our pipeline. Good. This ensures that sound designers will have fewer sounds to design, but every asset will have a greater impact. Our objective was to immerse our pilots in hard-hitting and reactive sounds, resulting in a memorable flight experience, whatever ship they choose to fly. Audio team. They are now also using a shared and extensive set of game parameters that modulate different layers in a variety of ways. This, paired with a more extensive matrix of generic assets designed to fit manufacturers, classes, and sizes of ships, results in a much more granular and interactive experience for the player while giving every brand a clear sonic identity. This is supported by bespoke sounds made individually for every ship to give them a unique flavor. Give them all a unique flavor.
So like one of them's like Chungus Sonic, and some of them are like Bad Sonic.
Yeah, Mistral says Drake thrusters should sound like engines are choking and one step away from dying. Yeah, do they backfire a lot? Like,
They should though. Backfiring should be like the first like you take them to the hangar, you now have backfiring. Like while you're in the hangar, like that initial startup goes perfectly clear. That's very like that deep kind of like American muscle type car kind of sound. The second you get like a half an hour into flying, any Drake ship starts backfiring.
let's see. And finally, for vehicle audio, the devs introduced a very early state of manufacturer-based soundproofing. With this, so the Drake version of no soundproofing. With this, each brand will have a unique soundproofing profile heard when players are in first person to further improve immersion. I want. Oh man! So this is a thing. There, I'm a Army flight medic, and there are rules at what speed we can fly with the doors open, and at what speed we can be flying and open the doors in flight. And there are two different sets based off whether soundproofing is installed or not. Because if you have soundproofing installed and you are flying too fast with the doors open, it will rip the soundproofing out of the helicopter and can become a flight hazard. And all I can think about is the soundproofing installed in a Cutlass Steel, and somebody opens the doors while you're at boosting at SCM, and the soundproofing gets ripped out, and it gets sucked into a thruster or something. Yeah. Anyway,
classic Drake.
Yeah. And you're sitting in the back of your Cutlass Black, and it's just loud as all hell. Whereas if you're sitting in the 400i, it's peaceful and quiet. And, yeah.
So, like a good example is like you can see the walls in any Drake ship. They're paper thin. You see basically the exterior armor. In the 890 jump, they can literally be having a dogfight outside, and the galas still go on. Like that's the kind of like scenarios we're looking at.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, because they can, with that sound propagation system they showed off, they can attenuate all of that based on from ship to ship, and they can do that basically across a manufacturer just by saying, in all Origin ships, sounds propagate at this rate or this level, and in all Drake ships they propagate in this way. So that way you could be, the same distance from a sound in an 890 and not hear it at all as in a Caterpillar where it sounds, it's super loud. Someone drops a wrench 3 sections away and it's clang, but in the 890 it's just a, bloop. With this, each brand will have a unique soundproofing profile heard when players are in first person to further improve immersion. The new thrusters and audio features were rolled out with the Anvil F7A Hornet Mark II and will be utilized on every new ship going forward, with the team converting older ships periodically. The audio environment team polished the first ambience pass for distribution centers, and there's a lot of ambience. It is creepy when you get into the bowels of the DCs and you're like, it's a good thing I had this mini map because otherwise I'm lost. Should I be here? I just found a body. That's why they didn't clock out.
They make a really good like environment, and when you're not supposed to be there, everything lets you know. The environment, the sounds, everything.
Yep.
They really did a really good job on it.
Yeah, I like when when they're performing well, I like the distribution centers a lot, especially even for solo gameplay. While continuing to develop new systemic ambiance. Although this new, and especially in the bowels where all the machinery stuff is going on, it's cool. I mean, it feels like you're in I've been into those big rooms in large facilities like hospitals where you've got all the machinery that keep, for the HVAC, for the power, for the plumbing, all that sort of stuff. And it's, there's a lot of, it's a machine room. A lot of noise going on. That's what it feels like to me. Although this new system is still in early development, the team was able to add it into the distribution centers, improving ambiance for players at these locations. Alongside this, the team finished their pass on the new features for Alpha 323, including wildlife. I do like the creature sounds. That was fun to listen to. It's interesting, like they talked about, I got this sound from rubbing a balloon.
I always like behind the scenes fully videos and things. And my favorite, as I think I've said it on podcasts before, was the Geonosian babies for Republic Commandos. So in Republic Commandos 1, you go into some of the Geonosian hives after the Battle of Geonosia, or during the Battle of Geonosia. And so there's little like post-larva Geonosians running around because they're bug creatures. And so for the footsteps of the little baby Geonosians, they use cabbage, and they cut cabbage in half and then used it as little pattering feet. And then you can get
Cabbage
a
Patch
Geonosian
Kids.
gun. Yeah, sure. And in you can get one of the Geonosian guns in that. And for that, they used like a specific type of like nail. I don't know if it was a thimble or something, but they used that and tapped on a bowling ball to sound like, because this gun had like little legs on it that would tap. And of course, it was against your plastic or your poly whatever armor as a stormtrooper. And so they used a bowling ball to tap on the bowling ball to make it sound like it was tapping on your armor.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
I love crap like that. I love crap like that. And how like they had like 5 different giant creatures in the T-Rex roar in Jurassic Park. They have an elephant, a whale, a couple other things.
and
They just took all those sounds, just like.
That is it for audio. On to community with you. And if they don't make the Miscaraptor a thing that drives around in landing zones, I'll be sad.
They said the asset already does exist.
Yeah, the asset exists.
So
put it in the game. You don't have to make it viable or anything like that. I just want to see it driving around.
Oh, it better be viable. If I'm going to have hangars, if I'm going to have apartments, if I'm going to have my own stupid landing zones, not landing zones, what are they called? Player bases, I want this. I would, we have billion tiers coming, and that's going to give us 99.99% more landing zone per landing zone. I would love missions to go and clean up some of the back alleys. Absolutely love that. Love that so much. Anyway, community. The community team started off the month celebrating Triggerfish. Raptor. I almost said Razor. The Miscaraptor. The ultimate weapon in the war against garbage. This also supported the April Fool's Arena Commander mode. Or they also support the Arena Commander mode. Yes, CIG, everyone wants it. Please give us the Raptor. Even if it's just a copy paste of the PTV driving mode crap, just don't care. Give us the Raptor. It'd be great. Community support continued for the Overdrive Initiative, including Overdrive Initiative FAQ. Regarding upcoming updates, the team published the Alpha 3.23 patch watch, which I didn't see show up at all, which highlighted the features and improvements that do not appear on the public roadmap. The team also supported the.
I think I completely
I didn't see it show up either. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to read.
Thanks, monthly report, for showing up. The team also supported the live release of the 2.0 launcher, or the RSI Launcher 2.0, a full revamp of the application with the ultimate goal of serving as a reliable tool for the community. Well, you screwed that one up because it will not keep me logged in for anything. I tell it to remember me, and the instant the internet goes out, logs me out.
Huh.
Will not log me back in. Hope it's working better for other people. The Star Citizen World Tour continues in 2020. Members joining the fun in Chicago this month. For those looking forward to a future event, more details scheduled for the Star Citizen or for this year's Star Citizen World Tour will be published soon. True, I get logged out consistently. Good. Not glass, not only me. Sorry you're feeling. Sorry you're getting that as well, though.
Yeah, I have not had that
planning
issue.
for
That's
this year-
interesting.
Oh, interesting. Cool. Interesting. I hope
Yeah, and I mean,
that we
like,
can find
our
a fix.
power went out a week or so ago. Had to do the whole modem and router reset thing, and no issues.
Did you have the launcher open when it was out?
Oh, no.
Ah, okay, that's probably what happened.
Huh.
Because it's just kind of always open on my computer since it's just a launcher. So when it's open when the thing goes out, it's like, oh, I can't connect anymore. I guess I'm logging in. Yeah. Yes, I know it's the best practice to close it, but I'm always about to play Star Citizen. Let's see. We'll do a continue. Nope. Planning for this year's CitizenCon in Manchester, UK on October 19th and 20th is underway. With over 3,700 tickets already claimed, this year's CitizenCon has already shattered previous attendance records, making it officially the largest Star Citizen event yet, despite still being April. The team is already deep in planning for the layout and key components of this year's show, and can't wait to see you all in Manchester this October, the community team. In addition, the annual community-created System 7 Racing League organized by Admiral Esports is ongoing. I don't know if it's still, I doubt it's still ongoing. With the team continuing their support for the event. Finally, the community team published the weekly This Week in Star Citizen schedules alongside the most recent updates on the upcoming gameplay features in Roadmap Roundup. The Rear Commander schedule was also updated to provide better visibility on game mode rotations and special modes. Besides these, many other support tasks were done to prepare for Alpha 323 and 4.0 and beyond. Now, I don't know who the heck in the community, and there's many people that were, read that and said they're not doing point patches. 4.0's the next update. What? I understand that's literally what it says. How did you get all the way to reading the monthly report? You read something, which means you are reading inclined, but you didn't read or watch literally any of the tens of crap that they've been putting out over the last quarter that says we're going to be getting, like, even the Roadmap Roundups that said we're going to be pushing stuff into the point X patches. And like there have been also people that have been confirming, like, through this that 4.0 is the next major patch. Like, yes, welcome to the train. We've been here a while. They've said that back 2 months ago that it was going to go 3.0, 4.0.
They've been saying that
there are lots
for
of doubters.
so long, that there wasn't going to be a 324, that 323, then 4.0, 323, then 4.0. Never mentioning anything in between.
And we're still getting like more people figuring this out. It's very interesting.
Yeah, there has to be a reason to, and there's no reason to. Yeah.
People get on the train difference. I know. I'm aware. Getting on the train for the 3.040 transition or 3.2.3.4 transition, I'm not mad at. I'm okay with. I'm like, welcome into the illumination, the knowledge of what is actually happening. But the people who read this and say we're not getting a 0.234 patch to get the rest of the 3.2 features, those are the people I'm like, maybe step back a bit, look at the other information we have, then make a decision. It's yeah. I've seen both.
Literally
I've seen both.
Told you. They told you it was going to come in a .x patch. What do you think that means?
Like you read this. Like you read a monthly report. That's a big step. Like you've gone pretty far into the learning of the development of the game. How did you skip over so much? Anyway. Now on to Tree reads big paragraphs. Core gameplay.
1.0
I heard
is coming
1.0.
before
Get out.
4.0.
Just get out. Just get out.
out.
Just. I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Core gameplay. In April, the core gameplay pillar closed out features and prepared them for release in Alpha 3.2.3. A significant amount of time was invested into polishing and bug fixing, as well as reviewing feedback from the community to improve features where possible. For example, various improvements were made to weapons, including enabling the interrupting and canceling of backpack reloading and ammo repooling via actions like weapon swap, sprint, and melee. I still have yet to backpack reload. I need to figure out how to do that. So
You
what
need
was
to
also
have ammo in your backpack, but not equipped to your armor. It will automatically do it.
or sorry, not that. I mean ammo repooling. I need to do that.
Oh, that is a button. I forgot that is that. I haven't done FPS crap at all.
He flipped Operation Naz reads the long one. Yep. Reverse.
That's because
Play
I
the
didn't.
reverse card.
I didn't specifically make it so I read the core gameplay one, because the last couple times I've specifically, because I used to do it with the engine. I marked me as the engine one that I would filter up then down. So this time I just start off with tree starting since I'm reading the headers and it just flop back and forth. So it just ended up with what it was.
It is what it is. This is fine.
I get the next really cool one, which is branding. So I'm fine with this. I'll be right back though.
Okay.
Oh, you read the long one.
Support was also added for hit marker sounds, while recoil patterns are now the same for tap firing and holding the fire button. Aim down sight mouse sensitivity is not scaled down for higher field of views anymore, and weapon bandwidth usage was improved. Weapon bandwidth usage, not sure what that means. For jump points, coming in 4.0, the team enabled new fail states if a jump drive detaches or stops functioning, and added tunnel push force from the edges of the map to help players stay on course. They also implemented the first pass of procedurally generated tunnels from design parameters, including randomness to tunnel shapes for variety. Tunnels. Multiple routes. You're not just going to be able to spawn camp the jump point coming in and out of Pyro. That's not how this works. For the resource networking engineering, the team implemented a throttle that manages power in one SCU segments based on the updated UI design. Oh, okay. Yeah, the power increments that they talked about at CitizenCon. River Rapids. Find the less trodden path, my dear Bilbo. But Eve 2.0. Yeah. Additional item power range modifiers were added, which enable extra behaviors currently used for heat generation. This entered optimization for eventual release. Getting a lot of stuff ready for resource management for release with 4.0. No jump gate point bubble gangs. I'm out. Yep. Dibley says, I admit I missed the multiple pass info. That's exciting and encouraging. It's something that they talked about when they originally, they had a sort of roundtable discussion around jump points at a Citizen, I think it was for a CitizenCon presentation years ago. Or maybe it was a post-CitizenCon presentation. They said, yeah, they want it to, a jump point to be nebulous, and I have nothing to drink. But basically, this whole area is porous in that you can open up access to the jump point anywhere, but essentially the point that is commercialized, industrialized, has the infrastructure is like the most stable point and easiest point to open, essentially. But anywhere around there, you can fire up your jump drive and open it up, and you'll have access to it, and you can take the multiple branching paths to the other side, and that way they can't camp it. Because if if you remember how they made the big old gas cloud anomalies around the jump points and how huge those are, there's no way you could blockade it. Now, people will say, well, the UEE tried, blockaded the jump point going from Orion to Tiber. Well, yeah, it's the UEE, and they didn't necessarily effectively do that. They just had a whole bunch of ships in that area patrolling, ready to attack and converge on any Vandal that came through the jump point. But that's the UEE, and not us players. So yeah, round. And a lot of times the round tables are spitballing and everything, and they're just looking at ideas. But this is something that they've more fleshed out over time. But they won't actually commit to the exact design because they'll just let us know when they let us know. But that's essentially what they're going for in order to prevent camping. Now, that being said, a concerted effort by players, you could blockade the jump point, the main jump point location, and take it over, just like you could, in a concerted effort by players, blockade a space station. But that will only get you so far for so long. So would it be worth it? Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. Trade Federation bastards. Yeah. Let's see. For the life support and room system, the team implemented filters that degrade over time, with the life support generator ceasing to work once all are used. Gas propagation now uses accurate positioning within rooms, while atmosphere will equalize differently depending on whether they're high or low atmosphere environments. So if you have a room with no atmosphere in it, and then an adjacent room with atmosphere in it, and you open the door, the atmosphere will equalize between the rooms. And now, okay, well, this one was breathable, and now both of them are barely breathable. The technical requirements for crafting were scoped out with design, and room system documentation was updated to enable other teams to better implement their work. I bet you for crafting, we are going to see a design brief in the next quarter or two. I
don't know if we need one though.
I don't know. I think so.
Because it's a lot of little parts. It's not like a big feature. Because cooking's a crafting, and weapons a crafting, manufacturing is a crafting, bases are a crafting. Like, it's a lot of just I can't remember the word I'm thinking of, but separate pieces. It's not a holistic feature. And it boils down to inputs and outputs.
Yeah, I think they might give us an ISC feature on it just to explain how the system works, kind of like with the engineer.
Yeah.
Where this
ISC
is how
feature
the system works and how players interact with it, in order to say, okay, if you want to craft something, this is what you as the player will have to do generally. But World of Warcraft human female silly. Why does everyone assume that I know tailoring and cooking?
Isn't that also a quote from DS9?
I don't know.
It's a very similar quote to the one from DS9. I forget what the two things were for DS9. But it was the tailor. Everyone assuming that I know something and something.
I do not remember that line. It's been a long time. April saw continued work on Maelstrom and the radar and scanning feature. Now they are all in on Maelstrom, but all they are saying is continued work on it. So we have no gauge of what that work is or how far along they are, what level. Now, obviously, Maelstrom is in Squadron to an extent, but there's a lot more work that goes into that to get it ready for all ships and all, the whole shebang. I feel a wardrobe malfunction. Ooh, there's my hammer. See, and that I can't tell how many times I've gotten weird looks like when I do I say the voice lines from old school Warcraft. Something you doing? Work. Yeah. For the orc little laborer
I'm pretty
guys.
sure there's also a StarCraft. It's either StarCraft or there's another game that has like a
the peons
voice
and the
lines
peasants.
pack.
Yeah. Yep. Or the remember the dwarf like airship thing, and when he's getting shot or he's going down, they came from behind. I don't know why that's stuck in my head for the last 20 years, but it has. Sorry, tangent.
That's fine.
Planning continued for the transit refactor, and fixes were made for various analytic events not reporting it correctly. The transit refactor. So they have to refactor this is why the issues with elevators and trams have not been, addressed, completely, because they have to refactor the system to work for dynamic server meshing. So it's going to be a big system change in order to get it functioning appropriately and doing what they want it to, but also for it to work for when a landing zone or a space station gets subdivided into different servers. And now the transit system has to connect you from one server to another instead of just moving you, in a digital tube, across a server. For Arena Commander, the team began refactoring the spectator module and player component. Oh, they're all done with Arena Commander. No, they're not. They also updated how Arena Commander.
Who said they were done with Arena Commander?
Oh, everybody said that when they made that announcement about the changing of the name of the Arena Commander team, and now they're focusing on the PU. Oh, well, they're done working on the Arena Commander, and it's like, no, that's not what that means at all. But
it was an evolution of the life cycle. When they said when the team was made, like, hey, we'd really like to bring AC back into where it was invented from, which was helping the PU grow and add features. Now that they've been added back into the rest of the gameplay team, they get to more holistically do that with the PU saying, hey, this feature is coming up, but it's not going to be in for the next patch. Why don't we make an experimental mode? Ta-da! Yep. Engineering. Direct result. Still need Theories of War. I know, right? I'm pretty shocked we don't have Theories of War so far.
We got streaming.
Like we have.
That's a big step.
Yeah. And they were even doing it without streaming before. It's...
Oh, Dibley, don't worry about it, dude.
They did say not too long ago.
We are all about distractions and tangents here. That's why it takes us multiple hours to go through the monthly reports, whereas other people do it in 30 minutes. It's like, no, the conversation is fun, and B, context is important. Like, otherwise, all these statements don't mean anything unless you put, a lot of times, some of them are very straightforward, but other times, if you don't put them in proper context with other things that have been said over time, or, especially because this is the April monthly report. Well, if it's relevant to something that was said in March, and we remember that, it's important information. Planet Commander, Quantum of War. It's the Atlas conflict simulator.
Oh boy.
Okay, changes were made to Pirate Swarm's final wave, which now uses 2 Idris Capital ships with PDCs working. Gunrush now supports multiple weapon lists controlled by badges. We don't need those stinking badges. That can be randomized from all enabled weapons. VoIP and mute-unmute were added back into Arena Commander 2. Further development was done on the contracts manager, with the team providing code support for cargo hauling missions.
What?
Or missions were added back in, where players can choose between objectives, and general bug fixing was done. I have a feeling that 4.0 is going to bring with it obviously we're getting cargo missions coming with 323.x, but I feel like that we're going to see a pretty substantial update to mission variety and how missions work with 4.0. Just a hunch. Reputation-based hostility was further worked on too. Alongside several issues and improvements, a new neutral zone was added. They should call it the meh zone. You're neither a friend nor enemy. You're just meh. This is a special restricted area that all players have permission to be in. Oh, neutral zone in terms of a location. Not like neutral zone of reputation. No starship may enter the neutral zone. But
That's what I thought the second they said it.
I wonder where these neutral zones will be. With NPCs ignoring reputation, relationships, and criminality, and reacting neutrally to everyone.
That's Grimhex. No, they said they've said they want to make Grimhex a neutral zone. I forget where they said it.
Weird place to make a neutral zone, considering the.
It's not supposed to be a pirate base. That's Pyro. Grimhex is a we don't care who you are. Huh?
Ninetales control Grimhex. They allow you to exist there. I mean,
how the Ninetales actually deal with crap is very strange, and you should know this. You've read the lore. They're a very weird group of people.
Yeah. I mean, they could just make it so that way the Ninetales don't control Grimhex, or they only control a restricted access portion of Grimhex. That would make more sense. Like, okay, you go down here to go to the bazaar, and you go here to go to the Habs or the. But if you take a right down, this is where the Ninetales are, and you. Don't
I can
go
imagine
there
a refactor of Grimhex coming, and it being more in line with the gameplay scenarios of the Pyro stations.
Yeah.
But like Ninetales are like the most university student kind of gang. Like they have their like young ideals, but they're also a gang kind of thing. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, they're also straight up terrorists. Like they're not necessarily doing
yes,
it for the money.
that is a given. Like that's what in a gang. It's like Star Citizen gangs are terrorists, but like they like flashy like clothes and stuff. It's just like, and they have these like weird ideals of like anti-capitalism and stuff. It's just they're a weird sort of crew. At least like what's the security force for ArtCorp? Blackjack. At least Blackjack is like they're a gang, but also security. They just like bullying people. They're simple. Mm-hmm. They just like bullying people.
Let's see.
Ninetales. Have you heard any of the line? Yes. To put plainly, yes, they are very anti-cap.
Sounds like Grimhex needs some managed democracy and liberty. So, in relation to that neutral zone, however, access will be revoked for any non-justified hostile act, with everyone else seeing that person as hostile and attacking accordingly. So, this is when people, if you remember the whole seal clubbing going on in Pyro.
Yes.
That's not going to happen anymore at those stations. Everybody talking about, well, this is Pyro. It's lawless. No, this is Pyro in a limited test environment and incomplete game. So if you are in that neutral area inside whatever station in Pyro, and you just shoot someone unjustified. Everyone else is like, dude, what the fuck? And pull out their gat, and you will
You know
lose
something we
access.
haven't seen?
And they'll
We
see
have
you as
not seen
hostile. You'll
interior
get
turrets.
gunned down. I mean, there's a giant interior turret on top of the
But
the
that's
MPUV.
just an exterior turret inside. That's not exactly the same thing. But like we've been promised interior turrets, number one in lore forever, but also in the original like concept workup for Area 18, they had turrets in the floors that would pop up and be able to
They have
dispense
the-
justice at moment's notice.
the hangy downy ones at Klesher.
Do they work?
I don't think so. I think they're just set dressing, but
That's the point. Like we don't have any
Yeah.
interior turrets. I'm scared of person turrets.
Hurston's turrets shoot you with a binding life contract.
That would be.
But yeah.
I just thought something that would be terrible. A gun that would be able to keep you alive until the gun says you're able to die. Basically, just ripping you to shreds until it says you can leave.
But this right here, this is
Terrifying.
when I talked about there being a bunch of interesting bits, very important bits in the monthly report. This is huge because with reputation-based hostility,
Hospitality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reputation-based hospitality.
Welcome to Grimhex, which
Welcome
is
to
like a mint.
South.
The neutral zone thing. This is they can put these zones practically anywhere. But if you try to murder hobo in a space station, even in Pyro, you're gonna get shot. This is the end of murder hoboing in public places. If you go land at a point of interest and you just walk up to somebody as they're, at this outpost and there's a bunch of NPCs running around, you just shoot somebody, they're gonna turn on you and shoot you, and there's more of them than you. And we are slowly approaching the end of the murder hobo.
That's the most adorable shark I've ever seen.
Yeah. Here comes the FAFO, and because those people don't read this, they're not going to know it exists, and they're going to try to do the same thing that they did, and everybody's going to, it's going to be it's the Wild West. There's no law. Well, everybody else has guns too, buddy, and there's a lot more of them than there are of you. Because they can just
And they
come out
don't
of
take
spawn
very
closets.
kindly to your type.
Yeah. To regain access after hostile actions, the offending player will need to exit the zone. It doesn't tell you how or in how many pieces, and wait a set amount of time before entering again. Remaining inside when hostile or entering before the allotted time will completely reset the timer.
Ooh.
Yeah. So how long does it take for them to forget that, is it going to be like in, you just have to wait for the NPC. I heard someone prowling around here. 10
Must have
seconds
been the
later.
wind.
Must have been the wind. Back to for cargo, core gameplay progressed with freight elevators, item banks, and persistent hangars. Soon. Yeah, and that's the thing is those guard NPCs, they can those will have characteristics just like any other opponent. And, they can be poorly trained, and undisciplined, or they could be, straight up, the ex-special ops mercenaries. You just have to wait and see. That is it for core gameplay. And we're on to branding. Yep, in-game branding with you.
And we still have lighting, locations, and mission design, all exclusively Star Citizen.
Yep.
Interactables, that second picture is just, I cannot stare at that enough. Anyway, we'll get to that.
It's a good looking
In-game branding. It is a good looking fire extinguisher. I'm talking about the second one. Last month, the in-game or the branding and vehicle teams worked closely to create brand identities for upcoming and existing vehicles within the game. I imagine at the point this was made, the Pulse was one of them. They also continued to develop an in-house tool for all manufacturers, from ships to signage. This will be a versatile and invaluable tool for everyone working on the game and lead to unification of the branding or unification of brands across the entire game. That's it. Back to you for Interactables.
The Interactables team completed their work on fire extinguisher recharge cabinets. Is there a recharge cabinet for me? I need a recharge cabinet. I just need a cabinet I can walk into, curl up into a little ball, and it'll give me energy.
They actually make those. They look very strange as cabinets because they have soft doors on them, and because they're so big, they actually laid the cabinet down. So you actually like crawl on top of this cabinet and then close the soft door. They named it something really weird. I think it's an acronym like BED.
These will be placed in hangars for convenience and aid in ship fire gameplay. So, placed in hangars for convenience. My question is, will we be able to, kind of like with like other Interactables, where you can mount them in certain places, for decorative purposes? Can you buy one? And here's an empty wall space.
Well, these are recharge station. They have a tank inside the wall.
Yeah, I mean, like, in certain places on the ship would it be okay? Mistral 19K, thanks for hanging out with us this evening. We will see you next time. If you want to catch the rest of the show, or if you missed any of it, it'll be up on my YouTube in a couple days. But if you ever have any questions or any thoughts, we'd love to hear from you in the Discord. But thanks for hanging out. Good to see you, buddy. No.
Have good sleeps.
But yeah, that's the thing is, or will it just be, instead of having a wall mounted one, will it just be a floor one that you can put it into to recharge and you can deploy it anywhere?
Or
how do you recharge your
container?
Yeah, how do you recharge your fire extinguishers aboard ship out in space? In case you have lots of fire.
I imagine that will be just one of the resources that you have to keep on your ship that will eat into your overall cargo capacity.
Yeah.
Like your ammo, like your repair material, like your extra components. Mm-hmm. You're going to need to keep stuff like the fluid for the fire extinguishers.
Industrial cargo containers had their final art passes, including branding and signage, giving them more credibility as container storage. I wonder if they are getting the various types in with the cargo patch, as in, like, this one looks like it's meant to be, it's a pressurized cylinder. This one is liquid. This one, is a, I do like that they have the placard system.
Yes. That's actually in game now.
Yeah.
Those 3 diamonds are in game now. It's really cool. You don't have to like look at some weird container like, what SCU is that? Will it fit someone? No, it says right on it. It's nice.
Yeah, and if you shoot it, does it go boom?
Does it go boom?
Yeah, as a prior firefighter, I was a full-time city firefighter for 6 years before I just went straight paramedic, and so I am intimately familiar with the placards and the do's and don'ts of them, and that's a bit of immersion that I really appreciate. That's it for Interactables. On to you for lighting.
I want to start the car containers more. Lighting spent the time in April polishing distribution centers before moving on to the instance hangars and freight elevators, with the aim of making every interaction and with the aim of making every interaction an engaging event. Okie doke. You're the lighting team. Let's not get too ahead of yourselves. You do good work, but like, you're not the interaction team. That's not your choice. You can make it look pretty, but it's not your job. It's not your job. Like, I love your work, guys. Don't get me wrong. I love the lighting team's work. They are just so much on top of their game. Then back to you for locations.
Okay. Locations. The locations team spent April closing out features for Alpha 323. For example, the Sandbox team completed distribution centers. Maybe you shouldn't say completed.
Completed this wave of distribution centers.
Yeah, completed the first round of work on the DCs, adding the last elements of polish before shipping. The team are looking forward to players getting their hands on these locations, and will be looking for feedback that they can take forward as distribution centers evolve in the future. They are super cool, and they are incredibly huge. I'm just looking forward to seeing them more populated, with NPCs, because obviously the NPC population is pretty limited. Because they feel kind of pretty empty right now, but they are gorgeous, and they are really interesting locations, and there's a lot of loot to find. Oh man, I was loot goblining like crazy, running around through those underground passages and stuff. The Sandbox team are currently finalizing the last few outposts going into Pyro for Alpha 4.0, while supporting other locations teams with their tasks for the upcoming patch release. The Landing Zone team finalized art for the Cargo Initiative and helped out other teams in Alpha 323. Cool images.
So I wonder how long it's going to take them to finish up the cargo stuff. Are we getting... well, they haven't said anything about getting it for the Invictus update. Are we getting it for the Xenothreat update? Are we going to have to wait for a 3.2.3.4 for the rest of the features?
I don't know.
Yes, very
Back
cool
to you
images.
for mission design.
Mission design.
Yep.
Last month, mission design continued to polish content for. They also made quality of life improvements to missions, including mission persons, and supported content for distribution centers. Missing persons, not mission persons. Missing persons. There we go. I knew I read that wrong somewhere. Work was done on the new contract manager to ensure it had all existing functionality alongside improvements. They also made the commodity update journal entry a low priority notification and reassessed what missions notify players when they're available. Further bug fixing was done for the Overdrive initiative too. The team then used
check and make sure that I had everything complete. Should be good to go, but I haven't had a chance to get on live yet because Homeworld is a thing.
Yeah, you should be on if you log into live about the first half hour, you should be prompted with a new priority mission. Just say you accept.
The command prompt thing too to check and make sure that everything transfers.
If you don't see that, if you don't see the priority mission, yeah, you can do that. But if you get the priority mission, accept rewards, that it is the thing that let you know that you've completed it.
And if you wait to accept, you can. What's the difference? You can accept it now, or you can accept it during the scene. I forget.
Oh, I didn't know there was a difference.
Yeah, I forget now. There's something.
Crap.
I'll be right back. Gotta use the restroom.
All right. The team then used the extra time until the cargo update to add additional high quality content and further polish the cargo hauling and kill and collect missions. Very cool. A quote from the mission design team: the various shipping companies of Stanton often outsource cargo hauling to freelancers through contracts. These job board mission tasks the player with the picking up the designated cargo shipment at one or more locations and offloading it at one or more destinations. At their core, these missions will test the player's knowledge of their ship's space and their ability to weigh and time spent loading and traveling against the payout. They will see the player transport goods back and forth to various jump points, Leos, Lagrange points, landing zones, and distribution centers. These goods consist of various commodities and vehicles of real value, allowing players to get a rudimentary sense of what it will be like to have a hauling career. Simultaneously, this represents our first step towards implementing the logistical structure of the verse in a tangible, playable form prior to quanta-controlled system. That is an amazing foresight. Like, that's exactly what I've been waiting for in this game, is that exact kind of logistical background of the entire game. Accepting starts the rental cooldown, so they say wait for the rental for Xenothreat. Oh, I don't need the F7A. They also said currently the F7A has 2 small HP set for its turret, so it's easy for one hit to knock them out. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible. Still got like a half an hour of content to go. Let's see. I guess we can go on to narrative, maybe. April was a very busy month for the team, who worked hard preparing the Alpha 323 patch. This included crafting new distribution center missions, creature hunting missions, polishing the new UI and layouts, and reworking hint text along with bug fixing.
Yeah, that last paragraph in mission design basically says what I've been saying for years. This is what Quantum is designed to do, to make this work. Mm-hmm. Quantum is made to control the logistics. It is not, everybody's like, oh, dynamic pricing. No, its goal is this, to make things move around, logistics, to control logistics so that the way things get made and things get done. Prices are impacted by events in the verse, which Quantum reacts to, but that's not its goal. It's not about it. Quantum is not meant to impact the commodity trading that we have right now. It's meant to control this. And everybody's like, no, it's about commodity trading. Commodity trading is good. That's what. No. Commodity trading, dumb. Cargo hauling, good. I do like that they're talking about moving vehicles too.
That was interesting.
Boxes. Now, do you have to? Does it pop up to your freight elevator? It's somebody's Atlas, and you have to hop in and drive it onto your Hercules. Or is it a? I don't know. That's what I'm curious about. Like,
it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so now we're on to gameplay story on the Squadron side, which first time in a while.
Oh, did I miss it?
What?
I did miss it. Yep.
Miss what?
I read the first thing of narrative thinking it was the next one. Nope. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Nope, that's next. All right, gameplay story for Squadron 42. April saw the gameplay story team focusing on Chapter 1. As part of this, they continued bug fixing and polishing, with their involvement on the chapter tapering off as it nears completion. In addition to this, the team continued to implement improved scenes across other chapters, with April's work mostly dealing with Chapter 5. For example, they overhauled a scene in an elevator with new mocap and encouragement lines. You're doing great. Keep going.
Did well.
Yeah. It was great to see all these elements working together with great timing in gameplay story team. Also for Chapter 5, a scene on a tram platform received new mocap to improve how a key character reacts to the player. Ah! Oh, what are you doing on here? That's it for gameplay story. Back to you for narrative, which starts off on the PU side.
Yes, I'm going to start the second paragraph since I read the first one. Looking ahead, the team helped with the upcoming Invictus launch week, making sure that everything is ready for players to visit in-game. This was a particular focus of the narrative design team, who looked at the NPCs attending the event. The team also spent time working on cargo gameplay, providing UI and mission support. Additionally, the narrative team did a lot of planning and pre-production work for Star Citizen 1.0. detailing the scripts and assets that will be needed for its release. This includes looking at legacy work done for the game early's releases and analyzing how best to update it to meet the current standards.
Ooh,
Another
boy.
batch of lore went up on the website including the Murai portfolio, an excellent batch of new Galactopedia entries, and a Wheatley's Guide to the Drake Vulture. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And it sounds like, because the paragraph is so small, that the narrative team doesn't have a lot of stuff to work on before 1.0. Yeah, like, go into game and pick up any random object you can touch and see if it has a description. If it's a random object, not like a gameplay object, I bet it doesn't. They have to fill those. And now imagine any object you see in the game needs that description. Because the Interactables team is working on getting all those random to be physicalized and interactable.
There's a lot.
So narrative's got a lot of grunt work, and I desperately hope they're using stupid generative AI. I really do, because random like input brand, like I need a description for input brand soap. Make you a little description. Done. Paste. Move on. Like, not everything needs to be, let's have a meeting about this brand and what their soap is made out of. Sometimes you can just phone it in, especially for non-gameplay objects. Like, please, you got a lot of work in front of you. However they do it, I'm sure it will be good. All right, so Squadron 42 narrative. Throughout April, narrative progressed with tasks started in various months alongside re-examining remaining work to make sure that everything is covered and tracked. That was a tongue twist represented. The team continued generating environmental chatter that will be sprinkled throughout the story to provide additional backstory and insights into the social dynamics of the crew. Additionally, narrative work closely with the core gameplay to implement the Galactopedia, testing out the layout, content, and triggering of various entries. This is being trialed on a sample level to establish a standardized process before applying it across the game. Very cool. The team continued to review text used for mission objectives, as well as on-screen tutorials based on level design's latest updates to the game's flow, to ensure players have a clear understanding of what is needed from them. This will be an ongoing endeavor as solidified and tested. Work also continued with several external vendors to generate collectible content that will be found throughout the game. Narrative team quote, while we can't get into the specifics to avoid spoilers, the additional content should provide a fun Easter egg for players to track down. The narrative team. Finally, narrative kicked off an initiative across several teams to better test and validate their voice packs. While versions of this have existed for some time, the aim is for it to feature a gameplay-centric interface that will allow the narrative, audio, and design teams to modify the combat experience throughout triggers or throughout debugging triggers that can help satisfy conditions to trigger lines. There we go. Lots of narrow stuff, and I'm hoping that a lot of this narrative powerhouse can be turned to Star Citizen after Squadron 42 is content complete, at least for a little while, before they start working on Squadron 42 episode 2.
Yeah, because they really need to catch up mission givers. Holy crap, mission givers.
Yeah. Also, the background chatter, what are they called? The voice packs. The voice packs is just...
Yep.
I want to hear...
narrative is key to making Universal alive.
Yeah. I forget which video it was, but there was a video where in the background somebody was getting pat down by security at one of the landing zones. Like, that's doesn't happen yet. That's like, we don't have NPCs that talk about stuff that exist in things. They just idle around them. And narrative is one of the biggest teams for that. Like, sure, animation does a lot of that, and subsumption and all that will help with it. But narrative makes them talk about it, and that's a big thing. That's a really big thing. When you walk into a bar and it's silent, and yet there's people there, it's very disorienting.
It's jarring. Yeah, it pulls you out of your immersion. Yeah, especially if you're trying to do some RP. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So on to online technology for Tree.
All right.
On the
Online
Star Citizen
technology for Star Citizen. After several sprints, the online services team completed their refactor of the social services backend. Social services backend. Now, does that mean it will soon be connecting to the PU and working like that? And, will they finally be able to start implementing org features that cross between the website and the PU?
Spectrum Anomaly, yeah, that's another thing they want.
Yep.
I believe it was Tree. I don't know if he
Still
said
without downvotes.
today, but it was. Huh?
Still without downvotes too.
What's without downvotes?
The Spectrum on the Mobiglass. We need downvotes on Spectrum, so we can go. No, boo that man. But yeah.
But Tyler said something about in-game reporting and chat filters are a thing that are within the crosshairs of the team, and will probably be in. Well, it will definitely be in before 1.0.
Yep. Got to be able to report people to ban them instead of just doing a screenshot. Yeah.
Yep. And then asking how to get these people banned on Reddit. Yep.
Yeah. This involved porting the services to gRPC, as well as making updates related to server meshing, because obviously they will need to communicate with not just one server. Online services also completed work relating to EAC anti-cheat in preparation for enabling the enforcement of sanctions. So they can't. They're not banning people for cheats. Well, they are, but it's not due to the EAC reporting them. It's due to like players reporting and providing evidence. But they're not enforcing sanctions from EAC finding cheaters yet, and so they're getting ready to do that. This is currently going through because they don't want like a bunch of false positives causing people to get banned and lose their accounts and such. This is currently going through the first round of QA testing. Of course, this will probably not be a flawless release, and things are going to happen. And I'm looking forward to reading the posts because there's going to be at least a handful of people that get real mad.
Sanctions? Is North Korea playing Star Citizen now?
Yes.
No, worse. People are.
Yeah, people. The team also supported Alpha 323 by bug fixing and helping triage performance issues. Over the last month, the Live Tools team worked to ensure compatibility between the Network Operations Center and HEX and the modifications being made on the services side for version 323. They're also implementing new modules to assist different types of users. Additionally, the team continued to enhance other internal development tools and provide support and maintenance. Pardon me, hiccup.
Now, I don't know if you have this opinion, but to me, gamer is a negative connotation word.
I don't know. I'm a gamer.
Like the gamer aesthetic, or this person's a gamer. Like saying it, like using the word gamer, to me, always has a negative connotation.
Yeah, it
depends on the tone
and what the context is for sure.
I mean, for sure, like that's literally every language ever, but I find like if somebody is using the word gamer, not someone who plays games, it's normally not of the utmost positive outcome.
Yeah.
Like even the stereotype of a gamer is, sits on the couch and does nothing and has, nachos and Mountain Dew. Or sorry, cheese puffs and Mountain Dew. I prefer the good because it's so much better. It's so much better. Like I don't know. I feel like because I would like to about the comment of is North Korea playing SC now? No, gamers are playing it, and I would label most people who play Battlefield that. Like it's very few people. Like there's an easy way for me to not label you a gamer. Go into an FPS game and congratulate your opponent after they win. Not just GG, but pick out something and say you did well here. Easy way to get off the list. I do not disparage these pups. I'm not saying anyone's against them. I'm saying the stereotype is that you sit on the couch and drink Mountain Dew and eat cheese puffs. Mm-hmm. Even though, like, gamer dads are a thing and they work their butts off.
It is me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 jobs. My wife is
Help
literally disabled because her
players.
belly's so big, and I have a toddler. Yeah. We're finally closing on our old house. We moved into a new house. Yeah, there's lots to do.
You're doing amazing work. Gamers TM did kind of make their own fans, but I mean, yeah. But also companies that pander to the gamer aesthetic do it too.
Oh yeah, the stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right,
Like,
back to R&D.
Why is R&D? Sure, okay, R&D.
We're at 3.5 hours.
We got a couple left.
Midnight my time, and I have to work. Yeah. The gamer dad
It's
has
2
to
o'clock
work
here.
in the morning. I have to wake up and get a toddler ready for the day.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. R&D spent April supporting Alpha 323. For example, the half-resolution render mode was updated as updated to accompany the new cloud rendering improvements and the introduction of ground fog. This mode serves as a good compromise between quality and performance, and will be suspended by the temporal renderer mode, which is still a work in progress, but superseded by the superseded by the temporal renderer mode, which is still a work in progress. Improvements include the cleaner rendering and of silhouetted and foliage silhouettes in foliage, less blurry results from orbit, and better low discrepancy sampling. Due to these improvements, the decision was made to alter the very high spec setting for clouds to use the half-resolution render mode and increase the number of ray marching steps. As a result, players will see more consistent and less noisy cloud rendering, similar to the new photo mode quality setting, at reduced GPU cost compared to the previous very high spec setting. This will hopefully allow more people the new high fidelity rendering improvements in game. Additionally, further support was given to the
temporal render mode is completed and introduced. Like, it's already a lot better in 323 than it was before, and they haven't even gotten the temporal render mode in.
Further support was given to the rendering team to roll out the PSO caching and request cancellation to estimate PSO cache redundancies and certain shader flags for vertex position and texture coordinate modification. This is to minimize the number of shaders and PSO needed to run the game. Support was also given for various Vulkan issues that were revealed during PTU playtesting. Long-term work progressed on the temporal renderer mode. All confidence metrics, which are used to decide whether to keep history data after reproduction, was also factored in scene motion and depth. The temporal render mode was the various temporal upsampling solutions supported by the renderer. And that is it for R&D. Now back to you for tech animation, which has the only shared section,
Yep. It's
and then a little bit
same
on the only
thing
Star
on-
Citizen side.
Oh yeah, it's that last line. Yep.
Yep.
Whoops. So tech animation. This is the same paragraph on the Squadron PU side until we get down here to this last sentence. The tech animation team continued to generate and implement new head assets to the DNA gene pool, and are not far from completing the initiative of 40 heads for each gender. I wonder if all of that made it into 323 at release, or if we're going to get another big dump in 4.0.
We are.
Many devs
They
are currently...
showed a graphic at CitizenCon where it was these 12 heads per gender, and then they zoomed out to the 40 heads that we're getting later.
Oh yeah, I remember. Many devs are currently dealing with the complications of players and NPCs putting on and taking off clothes live in the engine. Boy, that could go the wrong way real fast. This has been ongoing for some time, and with the addition of animation resources in the mix, we are seeing great headway in both generating the assets for animation and generating usable pipelines to expedite the entire process for everyone involved. Tech animation team. So they want to animate us taking off and putting on clothes. Boy, that seems like a lot of extra work, but that's one of those things where I'm like, is the juice really worth the squeeze? Yeah, like bedsheet deformation is cloth physics, but does animating taking off and putting on your clothes, is that a really unnecessary thing? I don't know. They're also involved in work
For RP, it is dire.
That's one of those things where I'm like,
Because
I can deal with gamification of shirt pop into existence on me, especially if you're trying to change a lot of things quickly.
solo RP, that's an interesting one. Solo RP, it doesn't make much sense because
I roleplay when I'm playing my 0 to hero.
No. I mean, it for this feature for solo RP, this feature doesn't make much sense. For cooperative RP, watching all your squad mates just pop, all their like armor and stuff or clothes or whatever. Yeah.
Let's see. They're also working...
Just be slightly for taking off clothes.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Oh, whoops! I skipped a line. Additionally, the team are intrinsic in the creation and implementation of new creatures for both the PU and Squadron 42. They're also involved in work toward consumables and the setup of foodstuffs, with the team aiming to guide this initiative and promote time-saving workflows. Yeah, because they do need to work on better animations for us eating. Got to make eating your nudes look good. Lastly, and this is just for the PU side, they continue to support Alpha 323, ensuring content is integrated, tested, and ready for players. And on to you for tech design, which is mostly PU and then a little bit on the Squadron side.
Yep. Tech design provided several tech support for Alpha 323, including bug fixing affecting doors and fuel tanks not exploding in the new distribution centers. I'm sorry, doors are supposed to be exploding in this distribution centers?
Including fixing bugs affecting doors and fuel tanks not exploding. So the doors not opening and fuel tanks not exploding when you shoot them.
That's not what the sentence says. It specifically says doors and fuel tanks not
including fixing bugs affecting doors and
there's no breakup there. There's no break. For ships, iteration was done on weapon director feedback. For the latter, an easier AI behavior was created for use in very easy and introductory missions. Aw, they're dumbing it down for us. Thanks, guys. Because I'm terrible at it. A call to action prompt was added to the elevator panel for multiple ships. And an issue preventing players from getting out of the bed of the missed freelancer was fixed. That's good. For Arena Commander, work continued on the Resource Manager or Resource Network game mode, including enabling doors without power to be openable, but not closable, to prevent players from being trapped. Eventually, this will turn into a manual open without power.
Yep. Got to push.
Apparently, this feature's not done yet. Yeah. Then on the Squadron side, last month the tech design began moving ship AI changes from the PU to Squadron 42. They also set up new ammo crate entities, providing miscellaneous tech support, and fixed several bugs. And then second to last, we got UI for Tree, starting out on Star Citizen, then moving to Squadron.
UI on the Star Citizen side. In April, the Montreal-based team focused on the cargo feature and worked closely with core gameplay on the Resource Network mandate, which included getting wireframes signed off. They will begin creating mock-ups soon. In the UK, the UI team added the final touches to the new UIs for the visor, mobiGlass, and maps. They added the final missing features such as the chat window and law widgets too. Updates were also made on based on player feedback, such as reducing the hologram effect on the HUD. Yeah, there's a lot of people that didn't like that, and bringing back differently shaped quantum travel markers. Yeah, I do like the new AR markers. It does make things.
The one thing that throws me off is when you are quantuming to a mission location. So if you can quantum something, it's blue. When you can't, it's red. But when you're quantuming to a mission location, it's yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't know if they want it to be that. For me, it's still a bit throwing me off. Because with our last system, we had the mission marker plus the quantum point. With this system, they merge into one. And you see your mission markers even if you're not trying quantum to them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely still some filtering needing to be done. It's hard because there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, my only problem is I'm looking for the quantum beacon and I don't it doesn't pop into my head that it is that yellow marker because I'm looking for a blue marker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to retrain ourselves.
Yeah,
you can teach an old.
Like I said, I don't know if it's something they actually want to keep, but it is a new player learning thing.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see how the new player experience evolves and expands.
Yeah,
because there's a lot that they have to orient people to, especially with so much changing.
Yeah, I tried doing the new player experience this last one.
I haven't tried it since.
It wouldn't let me.
That's not good.
It wouldn't let me join, and then it's like, oh, you did it already. Just like I wanted to actually play the tutorial. I've not actually played the tutorial.
Yeah. What if I hit my head and I need to relearn?
Yeah. You know.
In April, and this is on the Squadron side, in April, the UI team focused on the opening level of the game, creating several motion graphic videos of boot up sequences for when the player uses tech for the first time. These are used to work out the timings of animated sequences too. So once they're signed off, they can easily be recreated in engine. The team also worked on the UI for one of the alien races.
Only one of.
But they're working on alien UI.
That's super vague. Yep. I mean, they've been working on alien UI for the past couple of years because we've got the new Xi'an UI.
Yeah. But maybe they're working on more.
Yeah. Brand new UI coming soon.
Mm-hmm. On to you for the last section, VFX, starting on the PU side.
Last month, the VFX team focused on bug fixing for the upcoming patch. This involved playtesting the game to find major issues that needed solving immediately or identifying smaller issues that were safe enough to fix without risking creating other bugs. They also worked closely with the game or graphics and Planet Tech to ensure the supporting effects with water or for water were working as expected and not too expensive. They also worked on a variety of vehicles for an upcoming release. Very vague there. On the Squadron side, last month, the VFX team worked on the holographic shader improvements, including extending the feature set so that it can be more widely used by the art and design teams. As usual, general support for art, cinematics, and design continues, including positive steps for destruction workflows.
Oh boy, I like when things go
Good.
boom.
If Banu UI doesn't have two versions, minimum being adware pop-ups without adware, right?
With no option to opt in. It's mandatory. By buying a Banu product, you have opted in. and the ads should pop up on your visor or your HUD on your ship at random in like the most inopportune times. You can pay more for the no pop-ups version. Yeah.
No. Banu is the Tesla microtransaction version. Oh, you wanted to sit down in your chair? Well, that's going to cost you extra. You want to turn on the engines? That's going to cost you extra. You want to reverse thrust? That's going to cost you extra.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. That is it for the monthly reports for Star Citizen and Squadron 42 for April 2024. Let's switch screens and we'll do our little outro.